Going with the flow doesn't just mean we just sit back and let things happen. It's we're observing it, but we do have the choice to make change if we want to. And that kind of led into me thinking about solitude um, because we are all at home. And then I realized, oh, but perhaps there are people that are actually, not perhaps, there must be people who are seeing this time as lonely and they're feeling lonely. And it's not that they're appreciating that or liking it. It can be really debilitating for a lot of people. And then on the flip side, it can be something that, we love. We like that alone time and we like that recuperation time. So I was thinking, okay, so solitude versus loneliness. And what does that mean? What are the differences? And how does our mindfulness really play into that? It is. My mind has been whirling with all sorts of ideas, and yeah, solitude versus loneliness. It is an absolute thing that I think really happens, and we feel it, but we're not aware of it until we're actually forced to confront it. Kind of being in front of that mirror of, oh my goodness, I thought I wanted that alone time. I loved working from home, but now that I've actually been working from home for a month or so, I'm not actually liking it that much. I miss my colleagues, I miss my friends, I miss my family, etc., etc. Versus, I like this alone time. It's my time to recuperate, it's my time to reflect, it's my time for me. And it's definitely something that's very, very personal. Um, and something that can change 100%. And absolutely, yeah, like Teresa said, you can definitely bounce between the two 100%. When we're feeling really super stressed or really down, maybe we start to confront ourselves and say, oh gosh, I wish I had someone around me just to talk to. That's not family, or maybe that's not, someone I see every day, versus, okay, I'm not feeling so great. I'm glad I'm alone. I am just gonna deal with this the best way I can. Sometimes kids can be a hindrance, yes, indeed, or a support. Who knows? Who knows? And it's definitely something that um, I hope you maybe think about and think about where you put yourself. Are you that solitude person, or are you someone who maybe leans towards the loneliness? And then how do you deal with that? And that's where our mindfulness really comes into play. If you start to perhaps be leaning towards being more lonely, be mindful of that. Start to maybe see what triggers that. Start to dig deep and see, why am I feeling like this? Am I not really happy to be with me? And then why? We all are pretty exemplary human beings, and we have a lot of plus points and a lot of things that we fail to acknowledge about ourselves, why we're all so amazing. Now is a really, really good time to look at that. You know, I see solitude as standing in front of a mirror and looking back at yourself. And sometimes we like to cover our eyes, and sometimes we take it head on. So definitely think about that, and maybe try it out. Try to reflect a little bit more and see, why am I avoiding being alone with myself? Um, I will be completely honest. I struggled a lot with um, adjusting, and I'm someone that likes to be with myself, and I appreciate my own company. But I never realized how much I loved being around my colleagues and being at work. And this whole process was a challenge for me. And it really, I struggled a little bit for the first 2 weeks. Um, and it was an interesting process for me because I never realized how deeply that was there. So it was good. I've kind of purged that and, back to like a balanced kind of approach. So it can take a while for some of us, and it can take us by surprise. Um, but yeah, sometimes it'll hit us, but keep that mindfulness and keep that confidence in yourself. And don't beat yourself up about it, because there's, we're humans, we change, we go, we ebb and flow. Um, Change is inevitable, as many of you know, I love to say that. And it's true. One day we'll be happy, one day we won't be. But keep that mindfulness, and it'll definitely help to keep ourselves balanced until we're all back in office. But hopefully that was a little bit of an interesting topic. I did do some research on that, and thinking about solitude, actually, I thought about hermits. So individuals who like to take their time away from society and sort of dig deep into their minds. And that term actually comes from a Greek word, which is, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, but eremia, which actually means desert. And so there's a lot of research that shows one of the first hermits escaped into the desert in the 12th century into Egypt. So that word kind of makes sense when we see desert being something very isolated and very alone. You can kind of see the connection between the two. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting kind of concept, and I really wanted to share that with you guys and maybe get something, maybe spark some interest in your minds when you're having your alone time to think. But yeah, that's my little topic for the day. Hopefully it's something interesting for you guys. Does anyone want to share anything before we kind of get started? Thanks, Teresa. I'm glad you found it interesting. Oh, but you guys are good. All right. So we shall get started then. Yeah, so now, I know last time we kind of went through a bit of loving kindness for ourselves, and kind of confronted or looked deeply into why we should love ourselves a little bit more. And I think the two kind of tie in nicely together, solitude and loving kindness. So I thought for anybody new who's joined us today, I thought I'd repeat the last week's kind of script that I shared with you, and I hope that's okay with all of you. So I'd love to, get started, and maybe we can nicely settle into our chairs. And thanks, Manal. I'm glad you're on board. So yeah, let's settle in and get comfortable. So if you guys are sitting, please make yourself comfortable and keep your feet flat on the floor. You want to make sure that your posture is upright. You don't want to force your back, and you don't want to tense your muscles, but you want to keep yourself nice and upright and comfortable. So when you're nicely centered, you want to bring some attention to your head, and you want to make sure that your head is nicely centered above your shoulders. And you want to make sure your shoulders are nice and square. And when you're ready, you want to do some nice, gentle neck rolls, just to loosen up those neck muscles. You can go from left to right or right to left, whatever's comfortable for you. You just want to make sure you are very gentle. If you feel any pain, just stop doing the neck rolls. Know your limits. And you want to gently recenter your head above your shoulders. And now we want to loosen up our shoulders themselves. And we do what I affectionately call dinner plate rolls. So we want to imagine a dinner plate next to our shoulder, and we want to roll our shoulders to match the circumference of that plate. It's nice and big. You can go backwards or you can go forwards or both. And you want to nicely loosen them up. Stretch them out from all those days of typing over our keyboards and laptops. Some nice big rolls. Again, listen to your body. If anything hurts, you don't want to do that. Just be very gentle. And you want to complete your rolls and nicely center your shoulders. And next, I want you to extend your arms out to the sides, kind of like you're getting ready for a big hug. And I want you to take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe in, I want you to gently raise your arms above your head and bring your palms together. And as you exhale, gently bring your palms down in front of your chest and center yourself. And just bring your mind to your posture and where your body is in your chair. And just do a gentle check-in, just to make sure that you don't have any areas of tension. And then gently bring your attention either to your tummy as you breathe, or to your nose, whichever you prefer. And you can pay attention now to the words that I'm going to share about loving kindness. And I just want you to think about what I'm saying, and hopefully something rings true to you. And if you find an area that you are particularly drawn to or you would like to pay more attention to, definitely do that. But let's begin with some loving kindness to ourselves. Begin your practice by congratulating yourself that you're dedicating some precious time to mindfulness. May you know that this is an act of love. As you begin to stop and become more present, become aware of the body and mind and whatever's being carried within, perhaps feelings or thoughts from the day's events, or whatever has been going on within you recently. Simply allow and acknowledge whatever is within, and just let it be without evaluation, judgment, or any form of analysis. Gradually, shift the focus of awareness to the breath, breathing normally and naturally. As you breathe in, be aware of breathing in. And as you breathe out, be aware of breathing out. Just being aware of breathing. Focus your attention upon the abdomen, feeling the belly expand with each inhalation and contract with each exhalation. Just living life one inhalation and one exhalation at a time. Breathing in, breathing out, watching each breath appear and disappear. Just breathing. Now bring awareness into your chest and heart area, feeling any sensations within. Just allow any waves of sensation to go wherever they need to go. Gently bring awareness into your beating heart and reflect upon how fragile and precious life is. The heart is the gateway into deeper compassion and love for yourself and all beings. All of us live with certain realities that cannot be escaped. From the wondrous and miraculous moment you were conceived, you began the irreversible process of aging and subsequent illness and separation. These are powerful reflections to be mindful of because they open the heart to what is important. Now feel into your own life with compassion, mercy, and love. You may often be critical or judgmental of yourself or hard on yourself. You might find it much easier to be compassionate towards others than towards yourself. Many people would hardly want to repeat out loud to others what they tell themselves for fear of what others would think of them. Feel into the powerful qualities of loving kindness itself, a boundless, altruistic love that could be compared to the sun, the moon, or the stars, shining on all living beings without distinction, separation, or prejudice. Bring this love into your own heart, skin, flesh, organs, bones, cells, and being. May you open to deep kindness and compassion for yourself, recognizing and accepting the imperfectly perfect being that you are. It may be a struggle to feel loving towards yourself, but work with this by acknowledging your challenges and then continue to open to discover what it feels like to have an experience of loving kindness towards yourself. Take a moment right now to just listen to the following phrases and just let them sink in. See how you feel about them. Just think about them. May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I have ease of body and mind. May I be at peace. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I have ease of body and mind. May I be at peace. May I be open to the deep kindness and compassion to myself. And may I accept and recognize that I am imperfectly perfect. May I be open to the deep kindness and compassion for myself. And may I accept and acknowledge that I am imperfectly perfect.